Hey guys, it's JH and welcome back to the practice tee at long last. It's been 6 months since I've hit a golf ball, and we've had, as you can see here, we've had catastrophic floods here, guys. The range has been closed. This was 4 feet underwater, you know, like 10 days ago. Place is only just, we haven't been able to get the mowers out to be able to hit the ball. It's just near impossible because the grass is just so long and the ground is still so incredibly boggy. Guys, it's a good opportunity in having that huge break, which is the longest break I've ever had in my life. Even when back in 1986, when I was still racing cars and motorcycles, I had an accident. There was a suspension failure and I broke all the bones in my hand, cut off the tips of those fingers, had skin grafts and all sorts of stuff in my hand. But in 6 weeks I was back hitting the golf ball. And I was back racing the car as well, because I had to for the championship, had to win the last race, which I did. But I'd had a big enough lead to have that amount of time off, which was because we used to race basically every week. But guys, 6 months is ridiculous. But what I think it's going to do is maybe highlight the benefit of what I've preached and for so long. And that is, if you've got a set of protocols that you understand, that you remember, and you go through every time, then you should be able to reproduce the golf swing no matter how long you've had off, and certainly from day to day and from round to round. You should be able to do that. Now today's going to be a test because I haven't hit any balls. I've come out here with my son. He's hit some balls, and guys, and the club feels like it just feels like a death adder, like a snake in my hand. It feels so foreign not having hit the ball for so long. And guys, the reason I've been away is I've had some significant tragedy in my family, which I won't go into, but psychologically I'm still getting over it, and golf was the furthest thing from my mind. But I'm back and I need golf to get my mind off it. Anyway, without any further ado, Matt Gray did a video on Bayou Golf's Steve Walters site yesterday, and it was so appropriate relative to what I was going to do today. But Matt is talking about, you know, when your swing is not working well, it's not sequenced. And I couldn't agree more. As a matter of fact, I totally 100% concur. Now, if we know that's the case, then how do we ensure that our swing is sequenced? And what is being out of sequence? What does that mean? Well, I think being out of sequence, and I think Matt will agree with me, and Matt touched on it in his video. But being out of sequence, guys, is having all this out of sequence, having arms and hands working independently or trying to work independently of the body. Okay, if we know that, then how do we ensure that the hands and arms will work in conjunction with the body? Well, something I used to do years ago, guys, and it really held me in good stead. And I played great golf for a long time with it. And whenever I go back to it, when I lose my timing or my sequencing, it's what I do. And it's this, guys. If you want to take your arms and your body, your torso back at the same rate together, okay, we'll term it in Jack Nicklaus's terminology, in a one piece in the backswing. And the one piece being this piece here and these pieces here, conjoined. Now, how do we do that? Well, a little trick that I used to apply, and it worked fantastically well, was this. Once we get our connection here, and I've always been a person that really does connect his arms on his body, or on my torso or upper chest, and now that is okay if you've got a lot of discipline. You can keep that connection and you will go away in one piece. But if you lose the tiniest bit of structural connection and integrity, you're dead, absolutely dead. So a little trick that I used to do, and I worked this out for myself way back because I actually saw it in some players from the 20s and the 30s, and they used to start it, and particularly in the days of the hickory shafts, because in the hickory days, guys, there was always this negative load on the backswing and then the positive load on the downswing and the rolling of the wrists. And the reason they rolled it, which was called the St Andrews sling, was because those clubs had so much torque in them that they opened the face so much on the downswing that if you didn't roll it, you just hit the ball way over there for right hand or way out to the right. So, but I'm not advocating any of the sling or anything like that. But what I'm advocating is a lot of the sequencing that those guys had. And what I saw in it, guys, and what I used to do was this. I'd get my connection here, get my arms and hands here, but in order to have an ignition move in the backswing, the ignition move was not this. It was not with the arms or the chest. It was with the right hip. And it just moved a little bit like that. Now, if you just do this yourself and have a practice, if you get over the ball and then you just turn your trail hip like that, nearly impossible to start the hands independently of the body. You just can't do it. You really can't. So the message is this, guys. When we get over and we get in position to swing back, just start it with a rotation of this hip and even a rotation of that upper leg. Now when you do that, you'll screw the lower leg into the ground. It's actually like an auger, as you would with a corkscrew taking a cork out of a bottle. So it's basically, it's this, with the arms basically staying there. But these will go so far, and then the arms and the torso, and ultimately the golf club, will follow suit. They will ignite themselves as a secondary action. Now guys, I haven't hit a shot for 6 months. Two things. I wanted to test my protocols, which I have for channel lock, and I just wanted to try this methodology again. And I thought, well, how can I get my sequencing right? Because I've been away so long. And I went back and thought, well, how did you used to sequence it before? And that's what I used to do. So here we go, guys. First shot in 6 months. Got 5-iron here. And we've got a really strong, as we always do on the JH practice tee, a really crosshead wind, probably about 25 k's. And the grass here, guys, where I've been standing here, my feet are about 3 inches underground, so it's just, and it's still boggy. This is going to be tough. If I can hit any shots today at all, I'll be very happy. But it's not going to be a long video, guys. We're just out to say I'm back. I've got a lot of stuff in the period of time I was off. I've got, almost 5 pages of things I want to talk about and do videos on. So I wasn't wasting that 6 months off in terms of thinking about the golf swing and what we can do. But I've got all that, and I'll start doing that from probably the middle of this week on, and we'll get back into the sequence of doing some. Okay, so with this, here we go. Like, it's basically this, guys. Imagine this just locked in place, welded in place, and we do that. We do that, and then we'll start back there. And the other thing that you have to think about in your protocols when you're coming back is that you must maintain your shape. You've got to stay in your shape. It's all too easy when you're not used to swinging a golf club, which you're not after 6 months, to just get up out of the shape. Now, if I can get the ball up here, and I'll aim up towards our goalposts up here, if I can get it within the 4 goalposts up there, which are about, I suppose probably about 18 metres apart, with that crosshead wind, if I can land them within those goalposts there, first shot, should be pretty good. And I'm not going to hit a lot today because my son wants to do some stuff, and I'm going to do some videos for him. I just wanted to get back. So here we are. So I'm just going to turn that hip. Now guys, there's the first shot for 6 months. And what was really good there, and I feel like I've been training really hard in the gym. I've come back perfectly after my heart attack. I'm doing more now than I did before my heart attack, which is crazy. The cardiologist doesn't really believe me. I invited him to come down to the gym and have a look. He said, no, I don't want one of my patients dying in front of me. But I feel great. Physically, I feel great. Guys, that was a perfect golf shot. Went dead straight, and just with that left to right wind as it got up the top, it just peeled off. Now, you can see my shoulder turn will be very, very limited at the moment because I've just got I've been doing no torso exercise, no rotational programs at all. And I'll just hit one more. So that's it. That's what I want to feel. I want to turn that, and then the chest and arms go. So yeah. Look where this right shoulder is, guys. It's an 80-year-old dude. So I've still got some flex. That was a fantastic shot, by the way. I've still got some flexibility. And if you can actually feel like at the end of your swing that your trail shoulder is way past the golf ball, that means that you've really been pressuring the golf club with the trail side as the lead side is bringing it down to the ball. You can't just pull the lead side down into the ball and hope you're going to compress it. You've got to pull the club down and then pressure it with that trail side. Now that's only a little 3/4 swing, but into that wind there, man, I'm not a long hitter. I would probably hit a 5-iron under normal conditions, about probably 170 carry, and that into the wind is probably 160 into the wind there. But it's pretty strong wind, and these are range balls. And they've got dirt on them, guys, because the place got flooded, the ball washer was destroyed. We can't wash the balls, we can't do anything. The whole place was destroyed. Okay, last shot. And I'll really try and stay in the shot and really try and make a bit bigger backswing. See, by turning that hip, look what happens. It gives me the negative load. And the lead side pushes it away. I'm really, really surprised that I can hit every one of those in the middle of the golf club. Now, I said to my son today that I was thinking that really I'd be lucky to make any type of contact at all. But they're just great shots, and they're going. That one probably went 170 into the wind. It was really strong. But range balls vary. They really do. The ground's boggy, guys, and still, even though the grass is long, I still don't wear spikes when I practice, deliberately, because it makes you force your weight down and keep your balance. Okay, last shot. Come on, Jen. Try and stay in it, JH. Now the ground there is really boggy, and I got a lot of pull down on that, and I got a lot of clamp on it, so it just dug into the ground. And of course, where I am here, this is a little bit higher, so that's what I call a mush squash, because the ground's mushy, and but really did clamp it. Now I've been trying to clip it rather than clamp it, but that was really strong shot. Okay, now my brain is still not conditioned to two of my protocols yet, but okay, last shot. Said that a while ago, Josh. Come on, turn it. Look where I am here, guys. Look at this. Okay, I won't hit any more because I've got to do a lot of work with my son today. So anyway guys, I'm back. So that's just the first little tip. In terms of sequencing, which is what Matt Gray talked about, just get yourself in position here, get your connection. I always feel like my upper arms are on top of my chest. Here, and then start it back with that. Feel like you actually had a stop on the head of the golf club. And as you start back, it's stopped there. You go back here and then you'll get to the stage where it'll actually spring load itself into motion. So we go here. And that's where I want to get. I want to get here because at the moment I haven't hit enough balls to get back to my swing section. But look at those ball marks, they're just dead center. So where I want to be in a couple of days is basically here. That's how much shoulder turn I want to make. Here. I go here. I can still make it, but I've got to get back in. Okay guys, that's all for today, but I'm back. Still hurting psychologically and emotionally, but this is the best place because when I come here, I can't think about anything else. It's an absolute relief area for me. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Okay guys, so hopefully in the course of this week I'll be able to do 2 or 3 videos. I've got, as I say, I've got 30 points that I want to get on video for us, and it's all new stuff. So I didn't waste the 6 months. Okay guys, it's good to be back, and if the rain stays away and we can get this place mowed, I'll be back later on in the week. Bye for now.